Well, today, efforts are back on to bring grizzly bears to the North Cascades. The federal government reopened public comment on the proposal after plans to reintroduce bears in Washington stalled for the past year.
Simone Del Rosario is here. So how many bears do they want to bring in?
So the goal is actually to get the population all the way up to 200 grizzly bears, which is a long way to go when experts think there's only about 10 bears that currently live in the North Cascades.
This is an extremely small and isolated population, and if we don't bring grizzly bears into the ecosystem, we risk completely losing this species in Washington.
Grizzly bears are native to North Cascades National Park, but their population has been decimated by hunters all the way through the mid-1900s. Now, the last confirmed sighting in Washington was more than 20 years ago. Here's the area we're talking about, the North Cascades ecosystem. It's the original stomping grounds for grizzly bears, but as you can see in that big area, if you're familiar with our states, there are certainly a lot of towns nearby where we're talking about.
And I would imagine there's a lot of concern over this proposal. So who exactly is pushing back on this?
So today, the Washington congressman from Central Washington, Dan Newhouse, came out against it. He's been an opponent of this. He said that bringing a predator into an area where you have a lot of families and livestock is, quote, extremely concerning. And the Washington Cattlemen's Association, among others, claiming that the state is failing to properly manage wolves to keep their livestock safe. So they say they don't trust the state to deal with another apex predator, a 20-fold increase in the grizzly bear population.
They're not quite capable of managing an apex predator like a grizzly bear. And we're not only concerned about our producers' bottom line and their families and everything else, but we also feel like grizzly bears will turn into a public safety issue.
But these concerns are why we have this public comment period. Again, 90 days. We do have that link on our website under this story that people can click on.
What's their plan on bringing them in? How would they do it?
So actually, they're going to do it by helicopters if it comes to that point. They'll bring them in from other national parks in the country that are similar to North Cascades, where there are really healthy populations of grizzly bears. There are a few drop-off points in this environmental impact statement that you can comment on. They're looking at bears between 2 and 5 years old, majority female. Those are the ones that can help the population grow and reproduce on its own. Here are the options the government is considering, all the way from taking no action to restore grizzlies, to releasing just 10 bears, to releasing 5 to 7 a year until the population is steady at about 25, and then releasing 5 to 7 a year for as long as it takes to get the population to 200 through introducing them and also through reproduction.
Seeing a grizzly bear is a really enriching experience. There's just something about having that animal on the landscape with you and seeing this wildness and this ruggedness, and it's a reminder of what this place used to be like.
Safety-wise, if you leave the bears alone, typically you should be okay. If you ever run across one in the North Cascades, you know, it's obviously a place people want to go. Yeah. As far as all of this public comment period going, again, 90 days for you to get your opinion in, and then researchers are hoping that there will be some kind of decision from the federal government by 2020.